today, all I keep hearing is about being in the fast lane with the energy, okay? And what that means is that the planet is going through great changes and the energy stream has picked up at full speed, and all they keep hearing are humans complaining in the sense of, oh, things are changing, things aren't staying the same, or when they're trying to stay the same, it's become a little bit frustrating. I'll explain. So this is what they gave me. I asked for information about what's going on at the moment energetically, and then they told me to go to Mario Wii cards that I used to play on Wii, and the Mario Wii game. And I was like, what do you mean? So they sort of said, at the moment, you're in the fast lane. So if you imagine you're on the freeway or the motorway, or autobahn, depending on what country you're in and what you want to call it, you're the energy stream is very much the moment that you're in the fast lane and you're driving and you're doing this. And it's like, oh gosh, I've got to keep up, you've got to keep up. Now, what happened was before of this energy shift, a lot of you were, oh gosh, this is so rude already. A lot of you were in the slow lane and a lot of you were moaning, you weren't getting anywhere, you weren't going anywhere, and you were just moaning, and there was a car in front of you, and you just, car as in vehicle, as in human being, if we think of our bodies as the vehicle, as in like the car, and our soul as the driver. And so many of you were stuck in the slow lane and you were just toodling by, and you were like, oh yeah, life is getting me down, life is a bit boring, nothing's changed, doodle-doo-doo-doo. When you get stuck behind that car in front and you don't do much, or you might be a driver and sort of, I'm too scared to overtake, I'm a bit worried, I don't want to overtake. Now, we're not saying it's a bad thing. If you want to continue in the slow lane, it's absolutely fine, you do what you like. And those who are entering into the spiritual realm, in the sense of, no, how would I explain that? Going through that awakening, going through change, understanding that life is more than it has been before. And so you could be like seen as, thank you, this is the way I said it, it's like the L driver, the learner driver, okay? Or you've just recently passed. So it's all very much about what they're using as your vehicle, and it's all very much about looking at what lane you're in. Okay, thank you. And then the next lane, obviously the middle lane. Now, if you want to stay in the middle lane and you're just quite happy to tickly-boo, carry on, hogging the middle lane, not making much changes to your life, but you're okay, and it's, you're safe, you're feeling okay, and you're going from A to B, whatever. Yeah, that's up to you, that's fine. But you're going to get others that are going to overtake you, and they're going to get to where they need to be. And this is what they're just showing me right now, okay? Now, energy-wise, at the moment, we know that April is going to be that time of shifting. And we know that from everything that's happened over this past year, and planetary, and we've got the planets coming very close, we also have a shift with the planets as well. So we have energy from different planets that are lining up with us, that have come closer than they've ever been before. And each planet has its own personality, and it sort of feeds off, it gives us sort of a ripple effect of energy. Now, so explaining as in the sense of, okay, they're just showing me as in, we know when we have a full moon and how it affects our energy. And for those who are still not sure, the energy from the full moon, in the sense of, our tides are affected by that. We are mainly made up of a lot of water, I don't know, 85% or 75%, whatever it is. And we know that some of us are affected in the sense that when we do have the full moon, we can be quite emotional and things come up for us, things are stirred up for us. And the full moon also affects the tide and our shore on the planet that makes those changes. So imagine, it's just not the moon that is close to us from the full moon. We've got lots of other planets coming in and they're affecting us in a good way. They're actually, they're actually helping us to make those shifts. Now they've gone back to the steering wheel. So what they're saying to me, you're driving along, and okay, thank you, they sort of said some people are complaining of, okay, thank you, roadblocks and obstacles and things that are getting in their way and things that aren't happening. They're giving me the cones as well as a diversion. So I'll explain. Okay, thank you. Okay, they want me to use my example. I love them for that. Nothing's private in my life. Okay, so if I think of, say for instance, what's been going on for me sort of recently, and I'm sure everyone is, of course they have, everyone's got something going on because we're all human. But if I go back to, I can only speak from my point of view, what's going on for me, and I understand why. Okay, thank you. So what's happening is, for me, I want to buy my own house. I want to move to Hove. I want to have a new life. And so, I've been looking at properties, I'm getting all excited, and this is what I want to do. And so I've used that in a sense of the manifesting. So if I like what I've been doing, I'm going to see these new homes, I'm looking around, and those homes I really love, I walk through the door and I'm like, yeah, I like the bathroom, no, I don't like the kitchen, yeah, I like the front room, I don't like the bathroom, or whatever. And that helps me with my manifestation. So it helps me to move forward, to look at what it is that I do want in my new home, okay? And then I actually did find something over the weekend, and I was like, oh yeah, I'd love to buy it, whatever. And of course what's happened is I then speak to this is the human constraint. So I've spoken to a mortgage broker, spoken to my solicitor, spoken to my accountant, and we can't seem to do one without the other thing. So it's like catch-22 all the way along. And when it all happened this morning, I was like, oh my God, I can see me moving, I can see me in my new home, but why is there so much difficulty? And I did the human and of course I did, and I sat there and I was quite frustrated, and I just sat down. I sat down and I was like, I'm just going to meditate. I'm just going to take 2 minutes out. I'm just going to meditate, see what's going on for me. I had my pendulum out at one point and I was wiggling it around, and of course I don't have it to hand right now. And I was like, oh my God, what's going on? The message was loud and clear. I mean, for those who don't actually ask spirit, and those who sort of live their life without involving their guides, I don't know how you manage it, because literally I sat there with my team and I was like, oh my God, what's going on? I can't move, I can't do this, I can't do that. And then I heard it very clearly and I said, these are like roadblocks. And I was moaning, I was like, these are like roadblocks. You want me to move, you want me to be happy, you want me to do this, you want me to do that. And I just sat there, I was like a whining child, because I wasn't getting what I needed when I thought I needed it. And I heard it very clear. Stop seeing it as roadblocks. Start seeing it as re-navigation, like the cones in the road. They're rediverting you. They're sending you a different direction. Because when you focus your energy on roadblocks, as in stopping you, as in obstacles, as those things of making life more complicated, more difficult for you, you then focus all your energy on that. And then what happens is you go down the same path. You go down the same path and thinking, my life is no different, this is happening, blah, blah, blah. And you start feeling sorry for yourself. And that energy doesn't work. That doesn't work. And it's not going to work, especially now. It's not going to work, because what happens is you then go down that spiral pathway, you go down it, and then you go down that rabbit hole, and then you get caught up in all your emotions, and it's like, oh God, this has happened to me before, and worries me. And it doesn't shift you out of that pattern. It doesn't move you forward. You get stuck. You end up getting fearful and you get stuck. So I was told loud and clear this morning, pull yourself together. And I was sitting there and Spirit was saying to me, it's just diversions at the moment, just a few diversions, because they see the road ahead for me. I don't need to see as far as that. I need to trust. I just need to trust that it's all taken care of it for me moving forward. And it's really important that it's about trusting in the process at the moment. It's very much like, driving on the motorway and putting in your sat nav. I wish I could do that, put in my sat nav for the human sat nav and say, this is what I want, just take me to where I want it. What I do, okay, thank you, this is through manifestation, that's what you do. Thank you, didn't realise. So it's very much when we do get those roadblocks, when we get those stumbling blocks, when we're stuck and we think we are stuck, I want you to stop, take a moment out and then sit. And for those who work with your guides, ask them to step forward. Ask them to give you the information. If you're still not sure and you're not sure if you believe this and you're on the fence about this, take 5 minutes out, just sit. Be still, look at the issue, come out of the head, and then ask them, if it's your loved ones or your guide, your loved ones who've passed over, ask them to step forward and to guide you. Ask them for some signs. Ask your guides to step forward and ask, give you the answer, that's what you need. And clearly what I heard this morning was, And it's a diversion. We can see ahead of this roadway. You can't see ahead of you at this moment. And so you just need to trust that we're going to help you. So it's just that carry on driving in your lane, sort out what you can sort out, keep driving. And you know, there's times I'm in the middle lane and there's times I overtake and I go in the fast lane, but just keep driving. But if you go down that pathway or that roadway in the sense of going down that fearful way, which I did initially this morning after I couldn't get anywhere, you're in the slow lane and you get stuck in the fearful mode and you just keep seeing other drivers overtaking you, coming by, and you're just still not moving because you get stuck in the old patterns of behavior, the old fear programming. And very clearly they sort of said to me, it's very much, I mean, they're just still going on about Mario Wii cards, but they said it's very much that when you go into that slow lane of feeling stuck and frustrated, you end up repeating the same old patterns of behavior. And when you do that, and when you go down that fearful mode, it's keeping you stuck. It's almost like having that I'm going to say the caravan drivers in front of you, and you're like, oh my God, I want to overtake, and you're beeping your horn and you're like, and that's very much when you have an issue and you have a problem and you get stuck and you're like trying to hoot and it's not making any difference at all. Well, they're saying to me, it's about having that faith that things are going to change, that you can then move slowly into the middle lane, that you're cruising for a little bit and then you go into the fast lane to overtake. Now, well, they've also been saying to me, oh God, they said self-preservation is really important right now. Self-preservation. And that very clearly means that you take care and know your limits, know your boundaries, and work on them right now. Okay? So if you have those people in your life that are pushing your buttons, who are, when I say pushing your buttons, as in irritating you, or people are overstepping your boundaries, you got to look at it as in what's it teaching you right now, why is it happening, okay? And when I checked in with Spirit, it's very much, when I was asking them today, it was very much not that you've sent it out before as a sort of reflection, as a magnet. So in a way of that, how you had no boundaries, or how you felt about yourself, as in either putting yourself down, or lack of self-value, or self-worth, or confidence. You have attracted situations into your life, and by attracting those situations into your life, what's happening is now when you're starting to change, when you're starting to realize that you deserve more, or you deserve to be treated in a different way, or you're realizing your boundaries, they're going to come up so that you can push them back. You can push back at them, and so that you can build your strength, build that muscle memory. So the more that you sort of say, hey, hold on a minute, no, sorry, this is not what I expect, or stop pushing me, or, you know, don't treat me that way, that it becomes like a muscle memory in your body. And so your body becomes aware of it, so that each time that you do this, and I'm really feeling, and what I'm being told by Spirit, is that this is going to keep coming up within the next couple of weeks. You might have those pushing your boundaries, you might have those pushing your buttons in the sense of annoying you or feeling frustrated. That's going to keep coming up at the moment, because it's going to make you realize that you need to push back, that you say, no, these are my limits, this is what I want, this is how I feel about myself. And by doing that, you start creating that muscle memory, so it becomes easier every time. And also that you create a new pattern of behavior. So you start redirecting yourself, you start moving out of that, you start valuing yourself more. And by doing that, you start setting those limits, they start rising, those limits start rising, and you start learning how strong you are. So very similar to myself at the moment, and I'm not the only one on the planet, I understand that, but I can only go back to what the situation I'm going through at this moment, because of, you know, I had somebody the other day sort of saying to me, oh, I didn't expect you to say that you're going through difficulties. Why not? I'm human. I'm going to be going through difficulties. You know, I'm a human person at this moment. This is a human vessel, and my soul decided that it's coming back at this particular time to learn those lessons. And you learn those lessons by having, you know, these situations happen. But what I'm learning is every time I fall over, I goddamn pick myself back up again. And the lessons I've been learning the last couple of weeks especially is that how strong I am, and it's making me stronger and stronger. And what they said to me is to seize the day. It's for the living, and it's for you to keep pushing forward and moving forward and working with what's been shown to you. But it's always been shown to you, or what's coming up for you, those stumbling blocks. It's literally to show how strong you truly are and what you can go through. And it is about strengthening you. It's about strengthening that muscle. So if you fall over and there's something that's happened to you, get back up. Get back up. It's not meant to be that you fall over and you stay down. That's not what the whole reason of you being on this planet right now at this particular time. So really moving forward through the rest of April, it's very much this fast moving energy, fast moving speed, and you have the opportunity right now to grow, to expand. And that's why a lot is coming up for everyone right now, trying to shift people out of that slow lane into the middle lane, into the fast lane. So with manifesting, with making changes in your life. And it's not that it's going to be that you're on, as I just said, you're not going to be on cruise control so that you don't feel this. It's going to be more about pushing you to the limits, to help you to face what's going on and to say, no, that's it, I want change. I don't want to be treated this way anymore. I don't want people to, push my boundaries, push my buttons, make me feel uncomfortable. I want to be moving. And it's very much about, redirecting you, okay? So it's very much of how you may have lived life for some time in the same lane, and then suddenly these things that are coming up for you, you know, lessons and frustrations are actually showing you're stronger than you thought you were. And they're just showing you that instead of surrendering to it in a sense of giving up, it's about looking at what it's teaching you. And it's about, do you want to stay in that lane? Do you want to move into the next lane? Do you want to continue to move forward? And that's what they're saying very loud and clear. They just said it's rabbit speed, full speed ahead. It's really important that you know that. Okay, I'm just trying to see if there's anything else. Okay, thank you. What they just said as well, it's interesting. Are you sabotaging yourself? Self-sabotage. Are you, interesting. Are you creating those roadblocks? Are you seeing them as roadblocks because you don't want to move out of the comfortability? Is it something that's happening for you that it's easier for you to moan about the situation and say that you're feeling stuck in it because maybe you might only know that one way about what's going on for you right now? Or maybe you're too fearful to think of making change because it's familiar for you to moan about a situation, to say you can't do it, because maybe you don't have the tools to do it. Maybe you haven't been shown how to make those changes. Maybe you need support through those changes. But Spirit's saying very clearly, if you are faced with some roadblocks, as there is something going on for you right now, is it being created by yourself or being created by Spirit, in a sense, the universe, the divine, the energy, to help you to move forward, to step out of your comfort zone? So it's interesting. Are you creating your own boundaries to keep you small from moving forward, to keep you feeling safe? Okay, thank you. They just said, the divine doesn't create boundaries or roadblocks to stop you. The divine helps you, but it just re-navigates you. So it's like cones, those orange cones that we put out. If there's some roadworks, thank you. If there's some roadworks in your life, you're driving along, but you can't see the road ahead. And then you come up against the flashing lights on the motorway. There's maintenance work, or there's been an accident, and it slows you down just for a little while. And then you carry on moving, going through, and then suddenly the road, it's clear. And then you wonder, gosh, what held me up? And you're driving along. Because Spirit, the divine, I keep having to say divine mother now, knows what's ahead of you, and you just have to learn to trust. And for those who don't work with their spiritual team, their guides, or don't know how to do that, well, there's classes I put on and workshops, but I don't know how you're getting through right now. Some of you are contacting me, and I'm doing work with individuals, which is all good. But for the rest of you that are not open to this work right now, I don't know how you're getting on, because I would feel pretty struck, pretty frustrated, and thinking, what's next? Okay.